Here's a good one that proves that the same nonsense that happens here in the West also happens in the East or other parts of the world, and that arranged marriages are no more secure than regular marriages. About a husband is now dumping his wife in India after just a few months into the arranged marriage, she's cheating on him. And wait till you see in the end what she says to him when he's ready to kick her to the curb. It's pretty funny. Titled, I got cheated by my wife, a 27-year-old female, in an early stage of marriage. And a shout out to John for sending in this story. It says, I'm 30 years old and I got cheated by my wife, a 27-year-old female, in the early stage of marriage. I just wanted to ask about the situation that I'm in. I recently got married, and within 6 months of marriage, I got to know that my wife was cheating on me for 2 months. That's what she says, with her office colleague. Hooking up with a coworker, talk about a cliche. Again, this crap happens all over the world. And oh, by the way, I guarantee it's been going on a lot longer than that. It was a AM setup, arranged marriage setup. We had a courtship period of about 7 months before getting married. We got to know each other, our life struggles, passion, and future plan, and it was so good to know each other so deep. So deep in 7 freaking months? But that's their culture. It's not my place to judge. Later, we got married and were getting settled in new life and environment. We were living separately from our parents and slowly started to get to know each other, both emotionally and sexually. We started having you-know-what daily, and mind you, I was a virgin before this, so I had no experience whatsoever. Aha! Guess what? She had experience. How much experience? I don't know, but definitely more experience than him. So when we started talking, when we started it with all the foreplay and actual PIV sex, 4 to 5 minutes long, I used to finish after that. I used to help her finish herself through stimulation, and we enjoyed it like that. Yeah, he was a virgin, 45 minutes. I'm surprised it wasn't 45 seconds when he first started. You get better over time. But after some time, she told me she wants to experience an O through PIV, and I was understanding, and I was working on it through building my stamina and other things. And slowly we were getting there. But she was impatient and started to be mean and started to question me on my manhood. Insulting his package, insulting his ability to last long, his ability to give her an O. Well, here's a big news flash. If she's not into you, she's not attracted to you, don't do it for her. I don't care if you pound her like a jackhammer, she ain't going to have a big O. Okay, a lot of it's emotional. Okay, end of story. The bad boy could look at a girl and boom, she'll have an O right there looking at him, compared to a guy that can be hung like a rhinoceros, but she's not attracted to it, doesn't do anything for her. It was a depressing situation for me. We had fights on this, and I said that she was taking things to a larger extent, which can be resolved with patience. But she was adamant on this, and was stating that if things like this go with our marriage for too long, it devastated me. Later, after some days and some arguments, we decided that we will work on this and come back strong. Well, that's what a loving, healthy relationship does. Or a healthy couple, they work on it together. And a loving wife who's patient will understand, give the virgin some time here, he'll find his rhythm. But they were arranged, and she doesn't love him. But one day after our morning walk and breakfast, she went to the bathroom, and I was on my bed with my mobile when she received a notification. I just glanced at it, and the message on WhatsApp saying, I'll be there in 30 minutes, baby. Uh-oh. It triggered me, and I went through her phone. Mind you, she was always secretive of her phone, and it didn't bother me because I trusted her. Smack! When a woman... Yes, in today's world, everybody's glued to their phone in various degrees, but when your wife or girlfriend's really glued to her phone, that she's always on it and hides it when you're walking by, or makes sure it's face down, or goes to talk or text or message when you're not there, these are signs. I read all the texts and it almost made me faint. My heart got heavy and my hands were shaking while reading all the messages. She was going to go to some office party, she mentioned to me this earlier, with him, and they were planning to spend time together. In fact, she used to go to his house and office to do the deed, and he used to drop her to my house, and I used to wait for her with dinner and sometimes flowers for her. Oh my God. So probably during their courtship, yeah. This was the guy that she got things out of her system with, the guy she really wanted. But he was not doable in the arranged marriage scenario. So this guy be waiting for her to go on a date with his flowers. Meanwhile, she's getting banged by Raj, the Indian Chad. And there you go. That's humiliating. Well, once I confronted her, she started crying and was telling me things that were not good between us and just happens in the spur of the moment. And I say bullshit to that, as much as I know women tend to be emotional and connect first and later get physical. Of course, she starts bawling her eyes out and blames him. The things are bad between the relationship. She told me that if you would have satisfied me the way I wanted, I wouldn't have gone to him. Gaslighting. If you could fuck me the way I wanted you to, then but it's your fault. It's your fault I cheated. Again, if this guy could be hung like a horse, if he doesn't do it for her, she's not turned on by him, it's not going to work. I asked her that we said we've been married 6 months and that you have cheated for 2 months. All the time that we spent before marriage and the dreams that we had together were fake. I told her that I want a divorce and she agreed to it, just that she was gaslighting me very hard. Hey, if you want a divorce and she's not fighting you on it, good. Get rid of her. Mind you, I want to point something out here. He says she's 27. If I'm not mistaken, in the Indian Asian cultures, definitely I've heard in China and Japan, when they get to a certain age, like mid-20s, that's considered like leftover women's territory. I believe it's the same thing in India. So she's 27 years old. Unless she is smoking hot, the odds are it's going to be much more difficult to find, you know what I mean? She replied saying that she didn't want to do it, just happened with all the chaos between us, and that you'll understand after sometimes, and wait for this, you'll never get a wife like me. Well, I hope so. Who would want a wife like that treats him like crap, insults him so badly about his performance because he's new to this, cheats on him, gaslights him? No thanks. I don't want a wife like you. It broke me to pieces, and I was numb to the core for some days. Now I'm waiting for 1 year to complete the file of a divorce. Now, sometimes I feel that whether I did something wrong, and I question my self-worth. It has been a dreadful year for me, and now I'm living alone in a city feeling depressed. Taking therapy and trying to fight this feeling of love I had for her, it stings me every time, and I'm unable to sleep, but slowly I'm recovering. Now, please tell me what I was doing wrong here. It is just confusing, and I'm getting self-doubt here. Well, okay, man, I'm going to give you some tips here before I read some Q&A between him and people here. What did you do wrong? Well, arranged marriage, in my opinion, that's nuts. But that's your culture, and they're going to do that, okay? You barely knew each other, okay? You didn't get together because there was a genuine attraction. It's because your family and her family thought you'd be a good match, okay? Yippee. Didn't work out. And while you're dating her, bringing flowers and shit before the date, she's getting banged by Raj and Abdul and anybody else. Like, I don't fucking know the names over there, but you get my point. Akash. Everybody know about a guy named Akash? That guy got screwed over. But anyhow, the Indian version of Chad Tyrone. She was in India. End of story. It was arranged. So that's a bad idea. I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't do that again. And also, obviously, you didn't have any experience. You're a virgin. Okay, that's not your fault. You know, you get better with practice, just like anything. Same thing with fucking. Okay, eventually you could be very good at it, but in the beginning you weren't. That wasn't your fault. And if she was remotely caring, she would have understood, give it time. I'll get better with the fucking. And I'm sure you did, but still wasn't enough for her. She was attached to the Chatter Tyrone that she was hooking up with, okay? But she's also just a rotten, selfish person. That's not your fault. My advice is that don't do the arranged thing again. Frankly, don't get married unless you truly want children, and do a much better screening process the next time around, okay? Or certainly have your family do a better job picking somebody out if the arranged thing that's the only option you could do. I'd take your time, work on yourself, hit the gym, and work on your career. Because you, my man, are going to be now 30. You'll be a catch because you'll have a lot of things going for you. Okay? Practice on all fronts. Learn true nature of women. Consult channels like mine, other ones. Learn, because guess what? There's no different over in India than they are over here in the States. End of fucking story. And you're going to be okay. And you can have the last laugh knowing, and it can be easy for her to get a husband or anybody else as time goes on, because, if I'm not mistaken, by a certain age over there, more than over here, they're considered to be kaput. So you're going to be okay, man. Just take time. And do not take her back, because I guarantee you, the families are going to probably try to keep you guys together. Don't do it. She's a piece of crap. Now, some comments, Q&A. One guy says, control the narrative. Let everybody know exactly why you're divorcing. She'll spin it like a lie and make you the bad guy in the story. Please tell me you took screenshots of her and the affair partner's texts. Spread the truth as fast as you can. Yes, control the narrative, because she's going to ruin it. He says, yes, I have all the screenshots and audio clips. I thank God I have an instinctive reaction of taking pictures and recording calls. Good. Make sure everybody sees this. Make sure her family sees this. She may not be too popular with her family because I know bringing shame on the family is a big no-no in your culture. A guy says, did you check into an annulment? I hope you both told both your families why you're divorcing. He says, in my country, while a cheating spouse, adultery is a strong ground for divorce, dissolution of a valid marriage is generally not grounds for annulment, declaring the marriage void from the beginning, unless specific, strict criteria are met. It says, pregnancy by another man. If your wife was pregnant by someone else at the time of the marriage, and you were unaware of this, you can file for an annulment. Concealment/fraud. If you can prove that she concealed material facts about her character or past relationship that, if known, would have prevented you from marrying her, it might be considered fraud. So either I have to go for contested divorce on the grounds of adultery, which may take years, or go for a mutual divorce, which can be quick. So in other words, he wants to be done with her as fast as humanly possible, so he's just going to go through the regular divorce. I don't blame him. And here's a nice comment somebody said to him. He says, what did you do wrong? You trusted her to stay faithful to your marriage vows. You said you were a virgin before getting married. Was she? No way she was a fucking virgin. Or if she was a virgin in one part of her body, I guarantee the other two locations she wasn't a virgin in. I don't mean this in a nasty way, but I can't imagine when she would have found out about all these S-word feelings so fast in the relationship unless she wasn't a virgin. Do not beat yourself over this. I can't imagine how emasculating this is for you. You were so unaware of what to do, different than if she had never told you. She's a nasty piece of work who is in fact gaslighting you. Please continue with therapy and think about finding a new hobby that gets you out of the house and focus on something other than her. I wish you the best luck moving forward. Yeah, that's all you can do is move forward. You don't move backwards in life, you move forward. Learn from your mistakes and move on. And I'm still not a fan of this arranged marriage thing. But then again, marriage in any form it doesn't really work. Not that much, especially anymore. So there you go. But he's going to be okay, and she, not so much.